Pick anything modern
That
back.
son of a bitch brought a grenade back with him. I can't believe it.
We need to hurry. We don't have much time.
Hi, welcome. My name is Kevin Delanoy. I'm the co-producer UPM on the film, and I'm actually back doing an old job that I used to do, which is shot composition, working with photographs to illustrate a text point, in this case the battle, and how we put the battle together. This is the early stages and very early prep, and the idea of this planning is to put together a photo collage and to determine the number of people we need, how we're going to light it, how we're going to organise it, the logistics, how we're digitally going to replicate, how we're going to cater, how we're going to work the entire battle through. And it's a technique I've used on several other films. I can then orchestrate all of that, and when we turn up on the night to film this battle, we know that we're not in the wrong position for the cameras and the equipment. Each still in this collage has a different exposure and a different focal length, which means you've got sharp focus both at the very back of the shot, which is about a half a mile away, and the foreground, which is 15 feet away, which, for the purposes of what we need to do, budgeting and preparing shots, this means that we can address everything on the one photograph. A single photograph blown up doesn't have all these depths of field in it, and that's the main reason why the photo collages tend to work quite effectively. You can see I'm actually putting together the armory, which is a building in the battle which will explode, and the relationship of the armory to the battlefield is quite a crucial one. And so this particular section will allow everyone to address that relationship and work out whether we've got our distances and perspectives correct. So this is a collage of individual photographs. The tape's still on them because the glue's wet, and it's assembled. It goes right the way across the castle there, and that gives the perspective from the cherry picker. A group of the guys in the second unit all took shields, and they all stood at separate positions in the battlefield. And then these are the same three horses, just we move them around and take a photograph and then drop that photograph into the collage. So we can then give Dick a total body count out on this battlefield. And at the same time, he can see the foreground here, where our main principal cast will be playing as the battle assembles in the field out here. So this is our sort of first preparatory stage. And the rest of the photograph will have the courtyard in here and the armory, which is about to go on and get into this part of the photograph. And this will allow him to establish looks from here across the point of the castle and out onto the battlefield. So Dick can then see the foreground of the castle, the point where they're looking out over the battlefield, the mid-battle, the trebuchet, and Arnaud at the back, and the full width of the battle. And one of our big trebuchet hits is going to centre here. So Caleb can discuss frame sizes off this as to what we're going to hold and whether we're going to move when the trebuchet hits. And once you start to use these things, they become very useful, because you can also have 20 people around one of these photographs and discuss it, whereas an individual still doesn't work that way. So they develop a life of their own in a production.
So today's Friday. Come Monday, we start the next chapter in the movie, which is the big battle of the Roque. We'll be here for 4 weeks, 19 nights. We'll have at times 600 crew members and at times 450 extras. Horses, trebuchets launching flaming projectiles. And right now we're about to have a meeting with all the department heads just to review the shooting schedule that we've all been preparing. We've laid everything out, we've prepared everything. But now we got to identify what are the major issues that people still have that are outstanding, because the only way that you make a sequence like this work is to be 3 or 4 days ahead of yourself in terms of all your preparation.
So I'm going to go over one or two things on safety, because we're fighting a battle, it's not a tea party. As we're all gathered together, I thought I'd go through them all. Behind us, immediately behind us, here's a helipad, and there's helivac there. In case of a trauma injury or a serious injury, there'll be a helicopter parked behind here throughout the night shooting. On basic safety on the set, obviously we can't compromise the look of what we're doing. It is a medieval castle. We put handrails, we've gone round, we've filled in all the holes where we thought somebody might slip. We put safety lighting on the inside of the castle keep. We've got lights there that go on when, if Jean's lighting went down for a lightning strike, there are battery-powered lights inside the castle keep that will come on. Watch the extras. We've all done lots of movies before. A lot of these people, it's the first time on a movie set. They're likely to be more enthusiastic. We're arming the majority of them as well. So we're coaching them, and signs are going up. They do not do foul play with swords. They do not lark around with bows and arrows. And they're going to look, we are the technicians, we are the crew, with knight and arrows and swords. Weather is the only other thing I want to mention here. We're exterior, shooting in the studios, and all that comfort and control has gone. Winds will increase. I'll be in charge of weather. If you want to know, come and talk to me. Thanks very much.
There's a goodly number of trebuchets, my lord.
So we're here at Roque, 1357. We were lucky to find this castle existing here in Montreal, outside the city. It was here during the Indian Revolution, and the French attacked, and it mushroomed out of the ground. Actually, it was designed and built brilliantly by our designers. It's hard to believe. Anyway, we're starting to set up, as you can see. As that sun sets, what comes on here are all these lights, special effects. Out there, tomorrow night, that's going to be lit, and that's the French camp where there's 1,000 French archers and horsemen and lancers, and all ready to make the final charge here on Roque, or the beginning of the charge, as the case may be. But it's all starting. The lights are coming on. That's the arsenal over there. That is a hero shot in our film when it gets blown up by Merrick, one of our leading men. We have many, many, many leading men in this film. Ask them.
We're in our 6th night of shooting out here in Terrebonne. Hardest part about nights is we're pushing summer right now. We're pushing the longest day of the year. We don't have that much night. It's kind of restrictive. I mean, it's almost like a partial day. We don't get a full 12 hours of shooting in. So I think it's remarkable what we're getting.
Does anybody know what a trebuchet is?
Trebuchet it's three, actually. There's a boucher and a trebuchet. That's 3 trebuchets.
Deux bouchées,
Yeah.
there's a une bouchée,
And a
deux
deux
bouchées,
bouchets and a trebuchet.
Yes, sirree. It's May 25th in Montreal. It's as warm as toast.
Come on, it's gonna get cold later. This is on me, man. I'm a Maui man. My feet are in the sand, man. My ass is in the water usually. It's not out here freezing.
I mean, it's warmer than Maui.
Gotta be nuts.
This is the sort of bread and butter of the battle sequence for us, because we're doing, or we're hoping to add, I think, a lot of texture to some of the shots here.
This is quite an extraordinary sight, Jimmy. Look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, take a
Sir.
look here. I mean, to get a good view, you know,
Of the castle?
the castle and everything, you kind of need to be here
Yeah.
to get along. Or we can be centered on one and just look right through it too.
Yeah, centered good too.
I mean, this right here, where you see, you know, a section, you know, this is actually pretty good because you can actually be oriented right here. So
Right, and then I tell you, just go off center on the other side.
Okay.
That
but-
gives you 2.
Yeah, but let's try it on the other one and see what
Okay.
that looks like. This is gonna be, you're gonna shit in your pants. It's gonna be so good.
We will roll camera. We'll say background action. The horses will go through. Will be light the pots, and then it will be 3, 2, 1, fire. This trebuchet fires first. Beat, beat. Second trebuchet fires. The flaming balls go, and when they reach their apex, I will count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the impact on the castle will hit.
Start on the castle.
Right.
Drift off it to find the first torch being lit here. Continue my move to the second trebuchet.
Yeah.
Watch it being launched.
Right.
Come back to this first trebuchet and follow the ball to
Fine.
the castle.
Great.
On 100.
You strictly right to the left.
Yeah, sure. And it is a right to left.
All right. There's 2 right to left. Only 1 left to right. All right. Thank you.
And rolling camera.
Rolling! Set to!
Speed on all cameras. Background action. Horses go. Light the pods. 3, 2, 1, go!
Whoa, fuck. Beautiful. Whoa.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now!
I got a chill. It's so beautiful. Fantastic. Just great. Okay, cut it. Cut it. Thank you.
One, launch! Fire! Fire!
And on this one, we're going to knock the front door in. So one hits the front and one hits the door. It's going to blow the whole door.
3, 2, 1, launch! 3, 2, 1, launch! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, impact!
Drops the torch. He then kills her too. He will not do it.
Back off, Dickia, or Decker, whatever your name is.
I gotta concentrate on what's on the ground and where I'm going to. I gotta hit my mark. The mental thing is just make sure I don't trip, so they have to do it again. You really don't want to be the one that makes them have to do it again. You know? That's the kind of the payoff for being the stuntman. You know, you want to be the unknown guy. Whenever someone starts knowing your name because you screwed up is the time that you want to think about getting another job.
We have 13 cameras working. 2 of them are out in the field over Arnaud and his troops, Arnaud's deputy and his troops. Photosonics camera here running about 200 frames per second. Explosion's gonna take the upper right quadrant of the whole armory and blow it up in the air and blow it out a bit. We're gonna tie in Merrick, Gerard Butler, his stunt double, jumping off of there into that shed right over here. We've got cameras that will have him in the foreground. Hopefully the fireball will be right behind him.
And where are the cameras going to be?
Oh, everywhere.
Everywhere? So don't worry about where I'm looking.
It's over a series of 5 charges. Basically, when he throws the torch in, we have these doors that are rigged. So that's the first thing that goes, are the 2 doors, and you get a charge that fires out towards the stuntman that dives over the rail. The second charge will be the walls exploding all the way around, and the roof. The third charge will be the mortar pots that blow the wall out. Then the fourth one is the big pans that we've got inside, which are basically the main force upwards, which blows the roof off. And then the final one is a nitrogen ram that pulls all the main timbers, because we've had to leave the solid structure in there. Once they've blown, these rams pull all them timbers down, so we get no flying debris, heavy debris.
Everybody out of the hole. So it'll be a full first team rehearsal once all the equipment's pulled back. Background action!
Action! Now, Jerry! Good, cut it. Very good.
Neil, are you all set? Thank you. Clyde, ready? Thank you. Stand by, everybody! Stand by! Here we go. Rolling. Do we have speed? Speed on all cameras. Here we go. Back roll. 5,
3,
That was you, Jerry.
I know.
That was you.
Brave.
You were so brave.
What a hero.
chicken.
Great.
This is my man. This is my man. I mean, of course, I did the stunt, but I'm just so happy that he let me do it. He let me. You know, like that. He just that was. Oh God!
It's much bigger than I expected. Look up, just pan up. There used to be a building there.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Another trademark on our source. Thank God we don't have any high falls, do we? This is the one I have a problem with. This seems bigger than life.
Okay.
It,
There are actual strikes that make it to where they're not close enough.
it just, to me, if this guy is this strong and this thing, and he hit him once, he's gonna knock him to the fucking ground.
Maybe we can cheat it from here.
Okay, let me see.
Okay. So he upends him at this point,
Right, John.
Jason. Okay, you come in and do the deal. Okay, we're on like this. I get you off. Roll all the way over as I'm on the ground here. I'm going after him like this. He's all the way
You know
over
what
there.
I'd rather you do? Can't you kill him here and now,
Kill.
Oliver?
I suppose it's possible.
This movie's over.
Okay.
You know, there's so much going on. I'd even like to tighten this down a little.
Okay.
Because Chris has been watching. He saw Oliver in trouble. He ran out. He gets involved.
Okay.
Oliver's killed. He runs back to her. And I got to go to him. It's just too long.
I can
time.
do it very simple.
Okay.
Okay.
I just spoke to the forecaster. There's a front which was going to pass to our north and it's crept down and we're catching it. I can see to the south the edge of the front and it's unfortunately clipping us. He's saying there could be rain within the next hour.
Okay, General, everybody stay off of the roofs. Stay off of the roofs. We have some lightning in the area. So nobody up high.
There's nobody up high.
Here we go, for the love of France. Here we go. Ready and action!
It's a new feeling, completely new feeling, because I've never done this before, so it's like releasing something very deep.
Cut, save it!
If the Frenchman took him around, if he does this and then turns around, it looks poetic.
So it's got to hit.
Let's do that again.
I think I understand what you're saying.
Now, see, that was a wind-up. It can't be a wind-up. It's a baseball wind-up. Take the wind-up out. You just got to be deliberate.
I got you. Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Thanks. I really didn't have a major visual concept of what these fights are going to be like. We talked them through. We talked about. We saw rehearsals and rehearsal halls. But you come out here and you see this place come to light with fire and explosions and people and everybody fighting for their lives, and it took on a life of its own. Now, get hit! Go for your sword! And see, and I don't believe that. That'll work. Pull it out.
Buy that?
Yeah, I buy that, 100%.
The hard thing is being technically absolutely perfect. just so it's all safe, but also so that, because it's so dependent on the angles for the camera to sell it and all that kind of thing, getting the right balance between that, going through it, being very calm about it, but then having the kind of passion of the fight and making it look as if it's all spontaneous. It's like everything you ever dreamed about when you were about 8 years old, sword fighting and that kind of thing in your bedroom with your friends. And then here I am, 33 or whatever, doing it practically for real, you know, with everybody dressed up in a castle. And it's great, it's what you've always dreamed of. So it becomes easy then to immerse yourself in it, you know, because it's just like being a child again.
Got it, Brennan.
Good, good, good.
But this is something I don't have any control over because it's sword fighting, and so is it the biggest yet by far? The biggest picture I've ever done. They told me it was a little book, cute love story. I don't know how I got involved in this.